Today I want to visit with you about something that was very prominent in my life. And I've learned over the years, if it was going on in my life, there's probably a pretty decent group of people that have had to walk through it as well. And I kind of stumbled upon this, and it actually reminded me of it this morning. And so I'll talk about a funny story with Samantha in a minute. But what I want to share with you about today is something that you really have to grab by the neck and really, if you are subscribing to faith, you're going to have to ask for God's grace. You're going to have to be very intentional about it. You're going to have to pray, and you're going to have to maybe even ask God to give you new eyes to see it. If you're not a Christian, you're going to have to be very intentional, and you're going to have to use your will to bring yourself to a place where you understand that this has to be done if you want to experience a new sense of momentum in your recovery. So for me, upon disclosure, I lost everything. I mean, I was traveling all over the world. I was on planes once a week. I was very sought after to speak and was doing all these speaking engagements, sometimes 3, 4, 5 days a week. I mean, it was all this stuff. And then you lose everything overnight because of what you did. And you bottom out and you kind of go through recovery and you find this new kind of momentum. But as an unfaithful, or even just as a personality that's kind of someone who always is doing things and almost always creating chaos and just whatever, you have to, and this is not rocket science, but it became rocket science for me, you have to embrace the monotony of life. Just this morning, I got a text from Samantha, and she was like, hey, can you go to the bank? Can you go by Costco? Can you do a couple other things? And I'll be honest with you, inside of me I was like, good Lord, is this what midlife is all about? Costco trips, bank accounts, and getting home on time. It just is for me. And when it doesn't become that, I need to be afraid. And so I don't know if you're like me, but I have had to go through this exercise, and this is predominantly for the unfaithful, where I just embrace the monotony and the normalcy of everyday life. Because I'll tell you, going to Costco, getting the mail every day, mowing the lawns, taking the trash cans out on the days that they need to be taken out and bringing them back in, making sure that there's enough milk and eggs and multiple trips to Costco, that ministers to Samantha in ways that it would take me several blogs to describe to you. It is a feeling of safety for Samantha. It is a feeling of safety for me because in the old days, those things I hated and would never do and could never be trusted to do and always would forget them and always would screw it up, not just because I was busy, but because I was so consumed in self-absorption. And if there's one unifying principle to the unfaithful, it's self-absorption. There came a point where I was early on in recovery and everything had slipped away. And I was looking at this kind of new life where, man, I went to the office every day, I came home every day, had dinner at the same time, and it just was kind of like, man, is this all that life is going to be about? And my mentor looked at me one day while we were having lunch, and he said, it better be what life is all about, because you need to regain some predictability, some simple, everyday, normal. You need to do what a man your age does. And he called me a couple of names. He said, the time for you to be childish and selfish and just create chaos and just go out there and, yeah, get on a plane and, yeah, go speak and, yeah, travel and all this stuff. And you're the man and you just are this free spirit that doesn't care. And you're basically a seagull, Samuel. That's what you're doing. You're seagulling everywhere, and you need to stop it. If you ever want Samantha to trust you, if you ever want Samantha to be vulnerable, that's the key. If you ever want Samantha to be vulnerable with you again, stop seagulling on everybody in your life and find some predictability. Come home every day at the same time. Go to work every day at the same time. Go to Costco. Bring the trash cans in. Do these things. Just be a family. I had to come to the point where I embraced routine and loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Because my routine ministered and encouraged and stabilized Samantha being able to not live in perpetual chaos, but in a sense of reliability, normalcy, expectation. She could let her guard down because she knew I was going to be home at every day at the same time unless I called or texted. I was going to go to work at the same time. I was going to do these things. There needed to be a routine because I was chaos on two legs. Now, that may not be for everybody, but that was the way it was for me. And I want to give you the other kind of side to the coin. Now, think about this. It's another exercise because unfaithful, you've got to embrace the monotony. If you can't, something's really wrong with you and you got to find out why. Maybe it's just a season where you come to this new point of routine. Maybe it's a new way of life. I'm fairly busy, but I have to ask for God's grace and I have to be intentional about being able to get the little things done in life because it creates safety for Samantha and for me. Now, if you're on the other side, maybe you are betrayed or maybe you're an unfaithful. I don't know, but maybe you are the one that's always so predictable. And maybe there is a point about you where you're not one to kind of do things out of the norm. I don't know, and I just have this hesitation, but I'm going to say this. I don't want you to take this, if you are a betrayed, that you're boring or that you're just so predictable that there's no excitement and that's why your spouse cheated. That's ridiculous. Please don't hear this. But I will tell you, there came points where Samantha was like, you know what? And her mentor said this to her, I need to get out of the box a little bit. And so we would do some things like I remember I would come home for lunch sometimes. I came home for lunch several times and Samantha surprised me. She was decked out. We had this big lunch. We were physically intimate, and then I would go back to the office. That wasn't very normal for her. That wasn't something that she just did, but she decided to do things like that. She doesn't love movies. I love movies. I remember there was times where she would say, hey, I want to go see a movie Friday night. I want to help you pick it, but find out what's out there, do your little movie thing, find out, and I want to go. And I was like, so we went to this thing in Austin where you can sit down and eat a meal and have drinks while you watch a movie. It was phenomenal. She too would say, okay, look, I am so routine. I am so kind of, this is what I do. I need to get out of the box a little bit and create some vibrance to my own life, but also to Samuel's. And so she would do things like that. Please don't hear that her monotony and lack of, vibrance or any of that at any level made me cheat or is the reason why I cheated. Not at all. But these are some of the things that we did in our recovery that absolutely transformed our recovery, our opinion of each other, our opinion of ourselves. Try it. Roll the dice. What's the worst that can happen? Now, if you're in a fragile state, maybe not. Maybe it's a little too soon, or maybe it's just a little bit too fragile. But if you have some momentum, if you have enough momentum where you're like, is this all that life is? It's probably a good time to consider doing one of those things.